Hi Penn, my name's Dave. So, some people have called you a fat atheist. Well, so what? So you are. Big deal. Is that meant to be an insult? In my mind, it's just a description. It may be a rude and unflattering one, but in the end, it's just a description. I've had a look at this Conservapedia site, and if it's meant to be a Christian site, just why is it so nasty? It seems to me that I would agree with you that it is a troll site. It looks like it's been set up just to irritate people, whether they're religious or not. I'm fat, but I'm not so worried about people calling me fat, which they don't, and I'm a lot more worried at people that call me a fat cunt, which does happen from time to time. How the hell do you respond to that? Hey, skinny cunt back to you, dickhead. Or do you go over there and give them a good thump? It amazes me that people who are small, tiny, thin will come up to people like me, well over 6 foot, well over 200 pounds, and try to mix it up. I don't understand what they think they're doing. All right, I'm just a pussycat. I'm not a black belt in karate. If we got into a fight, they'd probably beat me. But aren't they worried about me falling over and landing on top of them? I could do them a serious injury that way. So, what is an atheist? Well, I think some people would describe me as an atheist, but that would suggest that I'm not a theist. In other words, that I don't believe that there is a God. But I do. I'm quite happy to take religions at face value. Describing me as an atheist is somewhat overstating the facts. To say that I'm an atheist would be to suggest that at some point in the past I've considered the issue of whether there is or there is not a God, and then, for whatever reason, I have decided that there is no God. Well, I can tell you that I've never put that much thought into it. In fact, I could say that I spend more time worrying about what underpants to put on in the morning. So, there is a God or there isn't a God. It just doesn't bother me that much one way or the other. Now, some people might describe me as agnostic. That would suggest, though, that I'm either unknowing or undecided. Now, out of context, of course, it doesn't really tell you what I might be undecided about. If I wanted to know more, there are plenty of books out there that I could read, books about God, some of which I've read, some of which I haven't. In reality, I just don't think about it. So, is there a word for that? Is there a word describing somebody who just really doesn't care one way or the other? Not an atheist, not an agnostic, perhaps apathetic. If Christians tell me that Jesus Christ is a God and I should worship Jesus Christ, okay, then I'll worship Jesus Christ. If Buddhists tell me that Buddha is a God, then I'll worship Buddha. If Muslims tell me that I should be worshipping Muhammad, well, I'll worship Muhammad. If atheists tell me that I shouldn't be worshipping anybody, that's great, then I have my Sundays free. I am an equal opportunity worshipper. Perhaps we should gather together all of the religions of the world somewhere remote and lock them in there, along with the smart aleck who invented the invisible pink unicorn, and we'll provide them with plenty of food and water and booze and condoms and girls and porn videos and whatever else they need, and we'll leave them there until they've thrashed out what should be the one world religion. And then when they've decided that, I will worship that one world religion. Until then, I remain not so much a non-believer as a non-carer. In fact, I think I will start my own religion, and I'll call it the First Church of Whoever. Our motto, worship at your convenience. Subscriptions free. Our mission statement, just go out and be nice to people. Do you think I could get tax-free status for that? I think many of the Christian fundamentalist Americans that you have over there have not really thought things out very well. I'm sure they're all convinced that when they die they're all going to go to heaven. But have they really thought about what that heaven is going to be like? Well, for a start, there's not going to be any America up there. Everything I've read about God suggests to me that he is not really hot on countries. So, no good old US of A up in heaven. The second thing they find as they walk through the gates is there's going to be a shitload of Mexicans. Really nice, friendly Mexicans, and no border to keep them out. Not that the border down here seems to do that anyway. Oh, and these Mexicans up in heaven, they're not going to do your laundry for you. The next thing they're going to find as they walk a little bit further into heaven is that there's going to be black people and no segregation. Black Americans, black British people, Caribbeans, South Africans, Ugandans, Kenyans, Nigerians, Maasai, Zulu, short black people, tall black people, thin black people, fat black people, every variety, and these black people are not going to shine your shoes. So it looks like heaven is going to be an interesting place with all different variety and different shapes and sizes and colours and languages and cultures of people up there. You know, it's sounding to me like this heaven might actually be quite a nice place. Here's a thought. Why don't we try and create heaven right here on earth right now? Well, Penn, thanks for listening, and God bless, or not, as you prefer. Bye.